Namaste, my name is Aashini. I'm a counsellor at Asha Services. Today we're interviewing Shirleen Prasad, who is a team lead of Asha Services. Welcome, Shirleen.
Thank you so much for having me, Aashini.
Could you tell me a little bit about you and Asha Services, please?
Sure. So I established Asha Services in 2017. And currently I lead Asha Services, which sits under Asian Family Services. We work with South Asian clients, providing culturally and linguistically appropriate services for anyone impacted by harmful gambling. And this also includes family members who may be impacted by someone else's gambling, and all our services are completely free.
That's great.
So Asha Services was established in 2017 when, through the project that I was doing, we found out that a lot of South Asian clients, or a lot of South Asian people, were experiencing harmful gambling, and at that time there wasn't a specific service that could cater for the linguistic and cultural needs of these clients, and that's why I established Asha Services.
And when you say, so it sounds like Asha Services is for South Asian people, and mainly gambling. So could you give us an idea on what is counselling, first of all, and how people can reach out?
Sure. So counselling is a concept that I feel may not be well understood by people, many ethnic people, because it's not something that is normalized in where we come from or the country that we come from. So many people, have a misperception around counselling, so they feel if they come to counselling, it means they will be labelled as being crazy. So counselling is more talking therapy. So counselling is when someone comes to see a qualified counsellor and they're having a conversation just like we are having, and it's through those conversations that solutions may come about. And the conversation that they have in a counselling session, it's kept, of course there are exceptions to confidentiality, but it's kept private and confidential. And I also want to say that when someone is coming to see a counsellor, it's normal for them to feel nervous. It's normal for them to be a bit scared because they don't know. It may be a new experience, and it's okay to feel that way. And the role of a counsellor is also to make sure that the client feels comfortable and safe. So if someone hasn't been to counselling before and they don't know what to experience, they don't know how the experience might be, it's okay to ask your counsellor. It's okay to call up our 0800 number and just talk about these things, because we are also there to make them feel safe and comfortable. Yeah.
So it sounds like it's private and confidential, first of all, because we want our confidentiality to be maintained, especially when they will, we want to discuss things that are private, very, very personal to us. What's the difference between counselling and talking to my family?
So it's both of them are. It's important, it's important for someone who's experiencing anything, may it be gambling, they may be experiencing harmful gambling, they may be going through something emotionally. It's important to talk to someone about it. And it's a good thing if they're talking to one of their family members, or it's a good thing, it's a good intervention. But sometimes family members or people in your circle may not have the tools and resources to provide you with the appropriate help that you need or appropriate support that you need. And these are the times when it's important to reach out to organizations or health professionals who have a bit more expertise in that area.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that counselling, what's the difference here is that you can still talk to your family, but counselling you can give a little bit more tools.
Absolutely. So talking to family is important. The counselling is in addition
Yeah.
In addition to that, because as I said, sometimes, family members may come from a place of love and care, and they would want to support you, but they may not have, expertise in that area or the tools and strategies that are needed. And sometimes when something such as if someone is experiencing harm from gambling, or someone is experiencing, some mental health issues, then the family themselves may need support. And at that particular time, they might be concentrating or focusing more on the individual, but they themselves might also need support. Yeah, so so counseling is available to everyone, not the person as well as the whānau.
Yeah. Okay. And is it free, or do I need to pay something?
Our counselling services at Asha Services, Asian Family Services, is completely free. If you're experiencing harm from gambling, or there are family member who may be impacted by someone else's gambling, we're here to provide pre-support. It could be one of your friends, families, wider family, also work colleagues. If you're impacted by someone else's gambling, please call us. It's completely free.
So I hear that the importance of counselling. It's with other interviews that I've heard also, that it's just like when you have a physical, when it's diabetes or something, हम लोग मानता है जाए डॉक्टर के पास, लेकिन जब mental health या emotion के बारे में है, तो we can always go to a we're not a doctor, but it's still counselling, but qualified counsellor. What does it mean to be a qualified counsellor?
So a qualified counsellor is someone who obviously has studied or has the relevant qualification to provide you with the expert support that you need. But also being a qualified counsellor also means that you're under a registered body, which means we have to abide by the body that we are registered under, their code of ethics. And it's a good thing, Aashini, that you talked about this point, because I also want to talk about issues of confidentiality that may prevent people from seeking support. And these are issues such as issues of confidentiality, meaning that sometimes people are reluctant to come and see a counsellor because they feel whatever they share might then be shared with someone that they know. Or then, or if they talk to their counsellor about, because they're being very vulnerable in a session, they're opening up, they're talking about their personal issues, and they feel if they talk to a counsellor, then the counsellor may then go and share that information with someone else. So being a qualified counsellor, being registered under a professional body also means that you're abiding by that professional body's code of ethics. And confidentiality is definitely a priority for us. Maintaining confidentiality is definitely a priority.
Okay, thank you. So what I'm understanding is confidentiality is, and private and confidentiality means that when you say something to a counsellor, it's kept there. Are there any exceptions where you would, you need to break it?
Of course, there are exceptions to confidentiality. The two key ones are if that person is at risk of taking their life. So when we need to protect someone's safety, that's including the clients, of course, we need to at times break confidentiality. And also if someone else's safety is at risk, then we need to break that confidentiality. So it's around keeping, at the end of the day, it's around keeping the client safe. And we try our best to always have, if we have to break confidentiality, we try our best to have an open conversation with the client around why this is happening. And
so that's really good to hear a little bit more about what a counsellor's role is, and how you have, you need to be qualified, be under a body, professional body, and you have code of conduct, which means, privacy, confidentiality, your care and support. What if I don't like my counsellor?
So in New Zealand, if you are seeing someone who's a qualified counsellor and you feel that, that is not a good fit for you, and it happens, it happens, and it's very important to have a good client counsellor, fit. It's good to have that, good therapeutic relationship. And for any reason, if you feel that that is not there, then you have every right to change your counselor. And that will not be held against you in any way. It's a right, you know, if you just don't feel comfortable, that's okay. Yeah, that's
Great.
okay. And you can request for another counselor.
Yeah, that's reassuring because, you know, you come to a counselor after so much, you know, you're scared, you're upset, and then you come in to sit down and you just don't gel. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It's not working, you know.
No.
So it's nice to know you can change.
Absolutely, and that's no fault of the counselor. That's no fault of the client.
Yeah.
If you just don't gel, you don't gel, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as it's an open conversation with the counselor, and the counselor will respect your decision and refer you on to another counselor.
Great, that's so good to know. Thank you, Shirleen. Can you tell us a little bit about how do we know, first of all, that we have an emotional, you know, situation happening? What is the difference, and when do I need to see a counselor? Do I need to be really sad and depressed and can't get out of bed? Or, you know, what are the criterias?
Okay, so in terms of being emotionally unwell, so there's a lot of things, you know, there's also depressive symptoms, anxiety, a lot of things. So going into that is too detailed, but what I will say is, you know yourself better than anyone else. You know yourself, you know how you're feeling, and sometimes every one of us feel sad at some point in our life, or many times in our lives.
Yeah.
We feel sad, you know, we may be like, oh, we just want to spend the day in bed. And that's okay. But it's around noticing, do these feelings linger? Do these feelings stay on for longer? Are they, you know, you've been in bed for a week, that's not okay. If you're having a bad day and you're like, okay, I just want to spend the day in bed, that's fine. But then if that's reoccurring or that's happening, you know, on a daily basis, you don't have the energy, you just want to be in bed, you just feel down, then that's not okay. That's not okay. So it's about trusting yourself in understanding yourself. Because if you feel something's not right, please go with it. Do not ignore it. Go with it. Talk to someone about it, and that's where, you know, your whānau circle or your support circle is so important. Talk to someone you trust.
Yeah.
Talk to a friend. Just don't bottle it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just not ignoring it and leaving it, and then maybe coping through gambling. You know, that's where addictions come in, I guess.
Absolutely. And there are a lot of times when people, you know, do not have the, you know, coping skills. So when they're experiencing challenges, obstacles in their lives, they may not have the appropriate coping mechanisms or coping skills or strategies to deal with it. And that's where they turn to things such as alcohol, drugs, gambling, which may be a distraction, but it's a unhealthy coping or unhealthy outlet.
Okay. Now, you know, it makes sense that when I guess these coping are distractions, and, you know, when you don't get the right support, that can come in and take over your life, like gambling and things like that. So that makes sense. So it's nice to reach out and get that support, the tools, so that you can cope through these very difficult times.
Absolutely.
How do I get mental health counselling? Like, how do I talk to my doctor?
So when you go and see your GP, you know, it's the same. If you're talking about if you have a headache, or if you have sore joints, then you talk to your GP about that. But if you're not feeling well emotionally, also please talk to your GP about that, because if they don't have the tools to help you, they will refer you on to, you know, a psychologist for an assessment, or you know, or other health professionals, or, you know, a counselor that may be able to unpack what you're talking about, unpack the issue that you're talking about a bit more. So you need to be, you know, just I just wanted to say that, you know, it's important that you tell your GP, because they don't know what they don't know.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, they don't know what they don't know, and I also wanted to say that for us migrants, when we come into a new country, which most of us are,
Yes.
it doesn't matter, you know, how well prepared we are, how, you know, even if we have families here, it doesn't matter. We all face challenges when we're settling in a new country. We all face, you know, obstacles, challenges when we are trying to adapt to a new country. And that's okay. That's okay, you know. There are things that, you know, such as language barrier, things such as we may be, most of us may come here as a student, and so we may not have, you know, family support here. And things such as, you know, financial strain. It's also, you know, for students, our international students coming into a new education system. And it's challenging. So give yourself, you know, don't be too hard on yourself. Give yourself that time to adjust. Give yourself, and be really, you know, focus on yourself. And if you're not doing well, please don't ignore that.
So instead of thinking, oh yeah, this is part of it, you know, we have to almost consciously or notice that, hey, this is difficult. And instead of just thinking, okay, this is how it's going to be, at least talk to someone. That's what I'm hearing. And the people that you can talk to with no judgment is counselors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's, you know, there are support services to help you, to support you. Please reach out. Please reach out. And if anyone, you know, listening, our audience, if they may have any questions around this, please feel free to call us on our 0800 number just for a chat. If someone is thinking about coming to see a counselor but they don't know what to expect, or they may be a bit nervous, a bit scared because they don't know, just it's okay. You can call us. We can have a chat. There is, you know, there's no commitment for you to come and see us. It's your choice. But you know, but we are here to help you understand what counseling is about. We're here to make you feel comfortable and safe so that you get the support that you need. So please don't hesitate to reach out, because you know, counselors are, you know, we are here to help.
So thank you, Shirleen. That's very generous, you know, that anyone can call up, koi bhi call kar sakte hain, and just talk to us and find out, hey, I don't think, you know, you can just say, I don't think I need counseling, but this is what's happening. And no, anonymously we can do that. So feel free to give us a call and, you know, and see what's available out there for you. We can refer you over. We talk in Hindi, in Fiji Hindi.
Yes.
So that supports us a lot. And culturally being aware, you know, how difficult it is to come to another country and adjust and try and understand. We do it so well. We, you know, adjust somehow, but it takes time. So, you know, we're here to listen, to be that listening ear, to support you. So that's what I'm hearing from you, Shirleen, and that apart from gambling counseling, you know, there's lots of other counselings available out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And just, you know, you don't have to go through it by yourself. Yeah, there are people to help you, support you. Please reach out. That's what I want to say, because, you know, we all have been at that stage where we're adjusting to a new country, and we've experienced our challenges as well. And I think every migrant, you know, has their own story, they have their own narrative in regards to the challenges and obstacles they faced. So, yeah, but, you know, you're not alone, and you don't have to go through it alone.
Yeah, thank you so much. Shirleen, would you like to just let the audience know about how they can reach out Asha Services and what time we open and things like that?
Sure. So if you are experiencing harm from gambling, or if you know someone who is experiencing harm from gambling, please don't hesitate to call us on 0800 862 342. You can press 6 for Hindi or Fijian Hindi. There is no commitment. If you just want to ask or just want to chat about what counselling is, you can also call us on our 0800 number. We are open Monday to Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m.